Hey there, this is Robbie Gennet with Keyboard Magazine. I'm here with Gil Smith and AP, who are working with Lil Wayne on some fabulous hip-hop music. We're sitting in the studio in the control room, and behind me we have a Motif XF8 and a Roland Phantom X7. So these are your two main axes.
Those are my babies right there.
Now, I guess the main question people would ask first and foremost is, how much of the internal sounds do you use, and how much, you know, just of the in-the-box sounds do you use?
Well, the internal sounds, from the Motif perspective, they just come out the box just so sweet. So, you know, my Rhodes, my pianos, my strings, I just love what's in there. And then on the flip side, we love the capabilities of the Phantom. And being able to take a stock sound and you already got your oscillators there, right there, you know, we can freak them and just kind of create some cool stuff on the fly.
But do you record straight audio, or do you record MIDI and then so you can, you know, tweak it afterwards?
Well, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit. We figure out the cool stuff we can get from, you know, the Phantom, but then we'll go in the box a lot in the box, and really find the right virtual instrument, the right sound, and really start freaking that and really having some fun. We just start saving presets, and at the end of the day, you get some crazy stuff.
Indeed. Out of the two of you guys, you both actually play, or just one program more than play?
I play.
Yeah, he plays. I program.
He doesn't want to admit it, but he plays.
He plays.
He plays. I came to his house, you know, a few years ago. We've been friends for about a decade.
Nice.
And a few years ago, I showed up at his house, and he started playing some keys. I said, "All right, I see you." So, you know, he plays.
Yeah. And he was the keyboard player, and I was a drummer on the road for years. We toured together.
With who? Who'd you tour with?
Man.
Avant,
Genuine,
Jagged Edge,
Jagged, 112, like
wow. So you got a lot of experience on the road, and how did you end up coming to meet up with Lil Wayne?
Oh man, you know what? A friend of mine who I had worked with before with Chris Brown, he was a production manager, and he got the Lil Wayne situation, and he called me in to come in and facilitate the music.
Cool.
Yeah, and so a little while later, I called AP in, and we've been trying to make magic, ever since.
Right on. I know, as such a creative guy who produces so much music, how is it working with him in terms of, you know, you get in the studio, is he all over the place, or is he super focused?
Both. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And I think his music kind of speaks for it. I
Yeah.
We have to study his stuff in order to, you know, produce the live shows, and especially like the Unplugged album and stuff like that. We had to really study, you know, what do his fans like, what does he like, and what does he want to portray, and just his lyrical sense is crazy.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know what I mean? Yeah, and he's the same when he's recording.
In terms of what he likes versus what his fans like, is there a disconnect there, or he's both like the stuff that he likes in his music is what the fans pick up on, or is it something where
I would say it's totally connected. Like he gets it.
Yeah.
He's a rapper, but he's very musical. Like his intellectual side is probably as great as his rap talent.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like because we'll come up with something really musical that most rappers per se would be like, I don't get it. But he'll come in and he can just oh okay. Bam, and he's in there, and you like, like, and he's in there, so it's pretty amazing how it happens sometimes.
He's a genius.
Is it true he doesn't write down his lyrics, he just remembers them all?
He just goes.
Never seen him write down.
Man.
Anything.
It's crazy. We'll come up with something, we'll get work done, and he'll come in and he'll just sit in front and he'll listen all the way down, almost a whole show.
Really?
And not say nothing. And he may send us a few notes or something, but he comes back, knows every change, everything. Like it's crazy.
We work with some great people, but
he's a talent.
How did his time in prison change him, artistically speaking? Because you have all that time to kind of sit and think and write and and kind of create in your mind. When you get out, he's like an animal on the loose. What
for me, it just made everything better.
Cool.
You know, he seemed a lot more focused, if that even exists, because he was way focused before.
Right.
So just a lot more focused, determined. I mean, really Wayne, he wants to tour and rap.
Yeah.
And that's it. So you don't have the distraction of, you know, I'm going to go out here and start my own jeans company.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just less. He pulls up and he has a studio bus, pulls right up to the stage, gets off, does his thing, goes right back on the studio bus and records.
And just records all the time.
It. Yeah.
So is he like the Prince of hip hop, where he's like running through engineers and like, you know, just
Nah, you know what? He kind of keeps everything in the family.
Yeah,
Nice.
He's a loyal guy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Gil's been there much longer than me, but you know, from what I've seen thus far, like he's a loyal cat.
In the studio, when you guys are working, you're recording keys and whatnot. The last record had a lot of synths on it, and it's interesting to see how hip-hop music has really embraced synthesizers and embraced whether they're virtual or whether they're real. You got a Minimoog or you got stuff in Logic or whatever. Translating it to the stage, you know, all these parts have to be played and whatnot. Was that a big challenge, or was it something where you had the flow in a certain way in recording where it was easy to kind of transition it?
Well, you know, AP makes things easy for me as a music director and as a musician, because you know, he's very skilled with mixing techniques, not just in the studio, but live as well.
Yeah.
You know, skilled in both arenas. And it's truly a different thing. So for me, whatever he has going on over there, and you can explain it, I am allowed to just create. And it doesn't matter if, you know, this sound is clashing with this sound. I know that he's going to make it work.
Cool.
So maybe you can
You know, we come up with these wild ideas, and if you don't know, sometimes it won't translate.
Right.
Because some of the same things you can do in the studio don't work live. So we'll pretty much take concepts and make them work. Say, like he said, like 2 synths that really don't work live, or it's not going to translate.
Right.
You know, or it's going to distract from Wayne's vocal.
Right.
You know, we'll just start doing some carving of some, you know, some EQs, carving some stuff out.
Yep.
Boosting some stuff, you know, those same general, you know, theoretical stuff you use in the studio, you know, take it to the stage. Or replacing, say, some instrument that was on the album, but that doesn't work live, you know, with the whole band.
Yeah.
We'll go and basically take that same part, but now I find a new instrument that's going to make that pop.
Right.
And when people hear it, you know, what they remember is the part.
Right.
And that
Not
it's
the
a
sound
synth.
itself.
Right. That, you know, that it is a synth.
Yep.
But, you know, whether it's a saw, you know, a bright saw, a dark saw, you know, they really don't, you know, they're not going to remember that. Like, oh, that saw's not right.
You're at House of Blues, it's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
When you kind of graduated to the arenas, now what you're playing is kind of translating different, you know?
Yeah.
And that's also something that I learned from working with AP, you know, as a keyboardist first, and then a producer, I just want to start stacking stuff because you know, in my earlier years, stacking makes it bigger.
Right.
You know, but when I started working with skilled engineers, you know, our monitor engineer on the road with us, Sean Sturge, you know, he's done Eminem and NERD and all these great people. He'll come over and say, hey, you know, from a frequency standpoint, the guitars that you want and also that saw synth that you got in there is kind of sitting in the same. So, you know, and then AP will say, all right, well, let's try this sound. I'll play it again. We'll listen, and I'll be like, okay, these guys know what they're talking about.
I'm sure there's a lot of monitor and front of house engineers that would be really happy to hear, you know, a band say, well, we listened to the sound engineer and he told us, you know, which frequencies were overlapping, and we corrected that, and it helped us get a better sound, because so many times a live band will, oh, this is my sound, this is what I do, you deal with it out front, and then, you know.
It's a fight,
It's a fight, and it shouldn't be a fight, because what you want is for it to sound good out front, and nobody gets compromised in the process.
Exactly.